Hi, it's TechNut. Join me every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. for the Tech News Hour here on Switch Brisbane. Contact the show, technutradio@gmail.com. Hello and welcome to the Tech News Hour. This is TechNut with your weekly dose of hardware, gaming and technology news. First up, we check out how drones are helping to save Indigenous heritage. We see what Elon Musk's been up to, the new phone, some new emojis, gaming news, a pretty snazzy clip from the Auckland Orchestra. All that and more coming right up on the Tech News Hour with TechNut here on Switch Brisbane. Drones. They're fun toys to many. I myself own a Mavic Mini and have fun chasing the pigeons off the roof or sightseeing around town without having to get my shoes on. They're also used in advertising with real estates taking aerial shots of a property for sale, or more seriously, search and rescue missions. That is, being able to cover large areas in quick time when spotting for lost hikers, or to monitor bushfires from a safe distance. However, they're also finding more significant roles, with one in particular, an Aboriginal teenager from far north Queensland who's using the power of drone technology. 19-year-old Bachelor of Science student Galara McInnes has combined her love of drones and mapping with her passion to give local elders an opportunity to identify traditional Aboriginal sites from the sky. Galara has taken to using a pair of drones, one to fly above the trees and one to fly under the canopy. Drones are pretty interesting. You can use them while you're stationary as they fly around the air, and they can beam the signal back to you onto whatever you're controlling it with. My drone uses a mobile phone in its hand controller. It transmits from the controller to the drone where you want to send it, and the drone sends back GPS location as to where it's currently situated in 3D space, as well as how high it is, transmits back a digital video signal to the phone so that you can monitor where it is. This allows you to capture what you've got in real time, but it also captures onto an SD card that's on the drone as well. The technology is very similar to Wi-Fi, however, it uses some clever techniques to get the distance and the range versus what you could normally get on a standard Wi-Fi signal. Well, it uses a higher signal strength, but it also uses smart signal mapping, so as it's flying over different residences or different buildings with their own Wi-Fi transmitters, it frequency hops to make sure that between the drone itself and the controller, they have a clear signal line path. This is very interesting in how it actually manages to do it, because I've managed to get my drone over about 1 kilometre away and it still gets a signal back without too much issue. They also have a system built in so that if it goes out of range, it will automatically raise to a preset height, hopefully above everything, and then comes back home until it gets a signal back from the control so that the two of them are communicating again. Kind of avoids them getting lost. Galara's innovative use of drone technology to map country resulted in her winning the Caring for the Country award during NAIDOC Week in 2020. I'm a girl who loves science and drones, she goes on to say. More will be covered with Jason later on tonight on the Aussie Music Hour, coming up after the Tech News Hour. You're listening to the Tech News Hour with TechNut here on Switch Brisbane. There is a lot riding on Nothing Phone's Phone 1, launched this week. For months, the company's CEO, Carl Pei, who rose to prominence as one of the co-founders of OnePlus, has been making big promises about Nothing's first smartphone. Consumer tech, how did we let it get so boring? The CEO asked rhetorically. Appearing through the clear back panel are illuminating light strips, positioned in an arrangement that was mysteriously teased earlier this year. We don't yet know the purpose of these strips, but our best guess is that they serve as notification indicators. Full support for Aussie 3, 4 and 5G networks are on board, as well as an OLED 120Hz HDR10 wide full HD 6.5-inch screen, middle-of-the-range Snapdragon 778 CPU, with all the NFC payment and wireless charging features you'd come to expect from a modern-day smartphone. Retail is about $900 for the 128GB model. This is a little bit expensive, but it's about the same as the Google Pixel. Also on hardware news, Gamers Nexus got his hands on the Intel Arc A370 GPU. This GPU is currently only available officially in China, and ran performance tests comparing it to AMD's RX 6400 and Nvidia's GTX 1650, both low-end cards. In DirectX 12 titles and content creation workloads, it managed to compare okay, sometimes ahead and sometimes behind. The GTX 1650, though, is still a better card at this $250 to $300 price range. However, on older DirectX 11 titles, the Intel GPU fell considerably behind. With some driver updates, it's possible that this could get better. However, with the current flood of used GPUs entering the market, I'd be spending the $300 on a used 3050 or a 2060 Super and game away. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch, Brisbane. Tribute Games announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has hit a major sales milestone all within 1 week of release. Shredder's Revenge is a modern take on the classic beat-em-up brawler-style games such as the TMNT arcade game and Street Fighter. Announcing on Twitter, Tribute Games posts, "Cowabunga! We are humbled to have so many people sharing our love of the Turtles. 1 million copies sold in its first week calls for a Mondo pizza party, dude, with tubular toppings. Thanks again to all of you all over the globe and in Dimension X." Also on gaming news, Genesis Mini 2, or what would be sold in Australia, the Sega Mega Drive 2. Sega Japan revealed Mega Drive 2 back in early June as a follow-up to the surprisingly excellent Mega Drive Mini from a few years ago. That console came with a solid lump of 40 classic 16-bit games, making Nintendo's miniaturized throwback consoles feel somewhat limited in comparison. The Mega Drive 2 hardware is even smaller than the original, while boosting the bundled games roster to over 50 titles, including for the first time several Sega CD titles like Virtua Racing and Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Getting Doom to run on things that were never meant to run Doom is something of a cottage industry among die-hard fans. They've managed to get it to run on things such as your motherboard's BIOS, an ATM, a Lego brick, a home pregnancy test, and a giant video wall. The list goes on, but YouTuber and Doom World community member KGSWS has set a new standard for Doom running in Doom, kind of like Minecraft players getting Minecraft to run in Minecraft. And last of all, Bandai Namco has confirmed claims that its servers had been hacked. Some confidential information has been acquired. If you have an account with them, or use the same password in other places, it might be a good idea to go and get them changed. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour here on Switch, Brisbane. Elon Musk has pulled out of his Twitter purchase, citing deceit. Not releasing information about spam and bot accounts, Twitter planned to sue to force Elon to buy Twitter anyway, after a few months ago, running a kill switch to try and prevent his initial purchase offer. It's now going to court. Twitter will have to release this information anyway. Elon might just be playing 4D chess and buy Twitter at a reduced amount. It's definitely popcorn and watch time, this stuff. Emojis. Emojipedia is previewing Emoji 15.0, which is a group of 31 new emojis that are in the running to be added to the massive catalogue. Some were highly requested, like the pink heart, while others appear to serve a larger function. For example, you can use the new pushing hand emoji instead of the folding hands to simulate a high five. In Windows, if you want to bring up the emoji keyboard, hold the Windows Start key on your keyboard and press the full stop. The emoji zoo is also expanding to include a goose, a crow, and a jellyfish, while a ginger root and a pea pod are being added to the digital menu as well. The miscellaneous category includes a shaking face emoji, a wing, a Wi-Fi signal, the kahanda is a religious symbol for the Sikh faith, and a flute. Also on internet news, the Internet Archive's landed itself in a little bit of a pickle after it was borrowing out digitised books in the same vein as your local library does these days. Through CDL, the Internet Archive and other libraries make and lend out digital scans of print books in their collection, subject to strict technical controls. Each book loaned via CDL, I think that stands for Content Delivery, has already been bought and paid for, so authors and publishers have already been fully compensated for those books. Nonetheless, publishers Hackett, HarperCollins, Wiley and Penguin Random House sued the archive in 2020, claiming incorrectly that CDL violates their copyrights. The Internet Archive seeks summary judgment in federal lawsuit filed by publishing companies. The Internet Archive has asked a federal judge to rule in its favour and end a radical lawsuit, filed by 4 major publishing companies that aims to criminalise library sharing. The publishers are not seeking protection from harm to their existing rights. They are seeking a new right foreign to American copyright law, the right to control how libraries may lend books they own, EFF Legal Director Corinne McSherry had said. This is TechNut with the Tech News Hour, here on Switch, Brisbane.
Your guys' garage is on fire. I'm so sorry. Your garage is on fire.
Oh, no. The kids were sleeping. Me and her were actually laying down in bed watching Stranger Things. My fiance, she looked at me like, "What's that smell?" And that's when the door knocked. It's like simultaneously.
Within seconds.
So because we smelled that and somebody knocked, we instantly kind of knew it was like, okay, panic mode. Something's going on because somebody's beating down the door.
I really thought that it was a really surreal sight because when I got there, I was really surprised that no one was outside yet. What the heck? And I kind of panicked and ran out of my car. I jumped into action. I yelled at my roommate to call 911.
I knew the kids were sleeping, so I went running down the hallway, banging both of my fists, get out of the house is on fire, the house is on fire.
I'm yelling. I had to actually physically grab them out the bed, come on, we gotta go.
Get out here now.
This is TechNut. Thank you for joining me for the Tech News Hour. I'll catch you here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 p.m. Tuesday on Switch Brisbane. Catch ya.